Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Today is the 4th and it is WIP Wednesday, so I'm going to be on here with some WIPs today. But first, what are you guys up to today? Let me know down in the comments what you are working on today. If you're working on some project, crochet, knit, whatever. And if you're not, what do you got going on today? What are you up to today? So I have been working on my concepts that I talked about yesterday. So if you missed that video, definitely watch it because it's a lot. It's like the foundation of all of the ideas that I'm talking about today. So I've been working on my Nuggetmon and also the nail for the Hollow Knight plushie that I made. So first I will show you what I've got going on for the nail. So here's what I've got going on for the nail, which is basically like a big sword. So what I did was I crocheted a flat piece. And then I'm going to do some embroidery to do the cracks in it. And then I'm actually going to try blocking this. So I'm going to try making up that cornstarch stiffening stuff that I did for the snowflakes and blocking this and see, because obviously right now, you know, it's super floppy. But after looking at the, like what it looks like in the game for a while, I really feel like doing a flat piece is going to be like my best bet. If not, then maybe working up several pieces and sewing them together because it has like this really defined shape. So yeah, I don't know. This is where I'm at right now. So I'm going to put the cracks in it and then I'm going to see about blocking it and we'll see how I like that. So the way that I did this piece, I will insert a picture over here, but I did a drawing in my crochet journal in the pattern designing section. And then what I did was I actually worked on my piece and I kept laying it in the drawing that I did, and it fits perfectly inside of the drawing. So basically I was just like, okay, I need to do a decrease now. Okay, I'll do some rows. Okay, I'll do a decrease now to work up to be the size of the drawing I did. And the way that I figured out how big I wanted the drawing to be was I looked at my plushie, looked at the picture of the character from the game and how big the weapon looked in comparison to him when it's strapped to his back. And I took my ruler and I held it behind him and I was like, okay, so I wanted to kind of go from here to here, which was 7 inches for the size of plushie that I did this time. So I measured, I put my ruler down and I marked where 7 inches would start and end. And then I did, it's got a very like steady slope to the sides, just like very, very gradual. So I just connected from the first point to the line basically. Okay, so I had, I'm not doing a great job of explaining it. So I had the 2 dots. I figured out how big I wanted the handle to be or the hilt to be. And I figured, okay, I'm going to represent how wide I want it by 1 block. I'll have a picture over here and then it'll make a little bit more sense. So 1 block is the width that I did, which ended up being 2 single crochets. And then I just worked it up till it was the length I wanted. And that was like 1 piece. I sewed that on after. So I finished off that 1 piece. Then I chained a length to be the bottom of the sword, like right after the hilt, the widest point of the sword. I could be holding the sword up. So this part right here. And then from there, like I said, I had this done, so I knew that this was going to end right here at the side, and I knew that the tip needed to be in the middle. So then I just drew a line from there to there and got my steady slope. And then, like I said, I just kept laying this into the piece, and it ended up working out really easily too, because it ended up being basically like you do a decrease and then you single crochet 2 rows, do a decrease, single crochet 2 rows. And I just kind of tried to center my decreases so that it wouldn't be lopsided. Sometimes it didn't work out perfectly as far as the numbers go. Like I might have crocheted 3, did a decrease, and then crocheted 4. But I just tried to be mindful of like, if I did a decrease that was a little bit more to one side, the next time I had to do that, I did it to the other side. If that makes sense. So that's what I've got going on with the Hollow Knight nail. And I'm pretty excited to try using blocking for something a little bit different. I didn't think I'd be using blocking in amigurumi, but now I'm like, I gotta try it. I think I might like that. I think that will look good because it just straps across his back. So I'm thinking that this actually might be perfect for that. And then the other thing that I've been working on is the Nuggetmon concept. So yesterday when I showed you guys, I only had the bottom of the Pokeball design. Well, I just finished designing the Pokeball, and here is the little flap that will go around a button when I have a button to go here. But I do not have any white buttons, and I could do a black button, but normally Pokeballs, the center of the button is white. So I'm like, if I do a black one, it's not going to be completely accurate. So I'm kind of torn on if I want to do a black button because I have black buttons, or if I want to hold off on that until I have white buttons. But also, I used 2 different types of yarn, which I frequently use 2 different types of yarn for things. As long as they're like the same weight, or I compensate like, oh, it's 2-3 weights, I'll do 2 of them and it'll be a 4 weight. If it's the same weight though, I have like no problem with mixing and matching yarns, especially in amigurumi. I feel like you can totally do that most of the time. But, I used Red Heart Super Saver for the bottom, and it is a very like sturdy, thick type of yarn. Like this white holds its shape really, really well. And then this top, I'm not sure what this is. I think it might have been a Dollar Tree yarn at one point, but it's not the like just active or just worsted or anything. It's like a different one, so I'm not sure if it was. It's one I've had in there for a while, and I usually use it for small parts of amigurumi, so I'll pop it out for like doing little circles for cheeks and things like that. And it's a softer yarn, so as you may have noticed, when I touch it, it can kind of cave in, and I feel like for the Pokeball, a more rough, kind of thicker yarn like Red Heart is probably better. This totally works, but I do feel like I should probably use the same type of yarn for the top and the bottom, so at some point I want to get some red Heart Super Saver in red and try that. But that's just like kind of me being picky because this totally does work. And then I've been working on the design for the first Nuggetmon. You guys ready to see it? Da, 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 da. So I still need to make the tail, but here is Pika Nug. There's Pika Nug, and there is the Pokeball. So I think that that's going to be pretty perfect. I actually haven't put it inside yet. I was waiting until I came on here and did my little reveal. So here is the base nugget shape, and I spent quite a bit of time perfecting the nugget shape. Obviously, this is a small, simple little amigurumi, but I felt like the nugget shape really needed to look like what I think nuggets look like a McDonald's chicken nugget, because it's going to be the base for all of the Nuggetmon. They're all going to be from this base nugget, and then I'm going to create pieces that go on them to make them into the characters. So I really wanted the nugget to be right. So I'm really happy with how the nugget came out. I'll insert some pictures over here of like kind of the process that I went through with making Pika Nug. But it's got little arms and legs. And I did embroidery for the face of this one. And it's got little ears. So I just got to work up the tail. I'm really, really happy with it. This is exactly what I envisioned for this. Like exactly what I envisioned. I'm so happy with it. And then I'm thinking that I'll make another one of the same one, and I'll try doing some different face options, because there's a lot of face options that you could do for something like this. You could do embroidering, you could do little felt pieces, which I think would work really well, so I'll probably try doing little felt pieces. You could do safety eyes and stuff too. The only thing about doing safety eyes is I rotated my nugget for this. If you noticed the way the stitches are going, this is the top and this is the bottom technically of the crocheted piece. So if I did safety eyes, you'd have to really pinpoint where you wanted them. So I'm thinking safety eyes probably not the way to go. You could put little buttons on them, whatever, if you wanted to glue on features like the felt features or things like that. You could definitely do buttons or beads and stuff too. But I embroidered these ones on. And that's how it came out. I had to take off the smile and do it again because I made it too small or too big the first time and it looked creepy. It looked so creepy. And I used embroidery thread for the red and the black, and then I just used white yarn for the white part of the eyes. And it was like way thicker, so I literally just went one time, popped it up, popped it back down, and it just had the one little dot of white, and it was already the perfect thickness. And so that's another thing, you could try embroidering it with yarn instead of embroidery thread. But yeah, so there's a lot of options for the face. But here's the Pika Nug, and let's see how it fits in the Pokeball. I want to put it in standing up so you can see it peeking out. It definitely has plenty of room. And then when there's a button here, you'll be able to latch it shut. And then you can open it when you want to, and it'll be like, Pika Nug. There's plenty of room in here, though. You could probably put two. Like, easily. You could definitely easily put two in here. If I was to lay him down inside of here, instead of standing him up, he, like, fits down into the bottom. So, perfect sizing. I'm so happy with that. So, I haven't worked any more on the snood idea. I have, like I said, I looked at the picture of it and I wrote out, like, a pattern of what I think the snood, looks like. But I don't have the yarn colors to do Enid's snood. And right now, I have to save money because, my sister is coming to visit, and my little nephew and my brother-in-law, and they'll be here in March, which I'm super excited about. We're going to be doing our little spring break vacation like we did last year. It was so fun. I think they're the only ones coming, right now. But I need to save money for that, and I have expenses, you know, like, to start taking care of for that, so I really don't know if I can, get yarn and buttons and stuff like that right now. I really should probably be using what I have and holding off while I get everything sorted for the little vacation. So, I'm thinking that I might still do the tutorial now, because, like, that's in March. And that would be like 3 months of waiting to do the tutorial. So I'm thinking I might still do the tutorial now, but do it in different colors. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that the tutorial needs to be in, like, her snood colors? By the way, a snood is like a cowl. I'd never heard the term before this, so I don't really know much about snood. I'm assuming it's probably like a regional term. But I haven't looked it up or anything, but it's basically a cowl. And I can, insert another picture of her wearing it. I still have it saved. So, it was in my video yesterday where I talked more about that idea. But what do you guys think? Should I still do the tutorial and work up my plan for that and just do it in different colors? Or do you think, like, it's pretty important for the tutorial that it's in those colors? I would do Wednesdays for the tutorial, but Wednesdays is all black, and all black yarn would not make a good tutorial. So if I was going to make it in all black, I still could, but I wouldn't do that for the tutorial, you know? So that's where I'm kind of at with that. And I might just put a black button on my Pokeball for now. I honestly think it'll still look really good with a black button on it. But technically I should probably be using a white button. But kind of want to just use what I have and, you know, be thrifty about it. Use what I've got on hand, which I'm totally used to doing. I am very innovative about working with what I have, so I don't mind doing that. It's just when I'm doing tutorials and things like that, to be, like, authentic to, like, the original concept that I'm being inspired by, I feel like I need to, like, make it right, you know? Versus, like, if it's just for me, I can, like, you know, make adjustments based on what I have. So let me know what you guys think about the snood. Should I shelf that idea until I can get that yarn, or should I go ahead and do a snood tutorial and everything and do it in the yarn that I have? I'm just afraid that that video might tank and nobody watch it because it's not the snood. And, like, it would be a lot of work to put in and then nobody watch it. So that's kind of where I'm at, and that's what I'm working on for my WIP Wednesday. So Pika Nug is almost done, and I'm excited to work on some more nugs. I'm going to do the 3 original starters. I already have ideas of how I'm going to do those. And then I'm planning on doing like a lot of Pokemon in these. Like it'll probably be like an ongoing project of me just constantly like coming up with new Pokemon randomly. But somebody, Shannon, said in the comments yesterday, don't forget about Eevee. And I'm like, of course I wasn't going to forget about Eevee. But now that comment's been like rattling around in my head and I'm like, I kind of want to make an Eevee one now. So I might also make an Eevee one now, even though that's not part of the original 3, or, well, the original starters. Pikachu is part of the original starters, but... so yeah, I might make an Eevee. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I hope you guys are getting a lot of crochet time in. I hope that the weather is treating you well today. I know it's been kind of rainy in a lot of places, so hopefully, not getting like, you know, bone pain and things like that from it, or allergies from weather changes. It is 73 degrees. I just was looking at the weather over here and it is 73 degrees here. Why is the weather like all over the place? It literally, we had such freezing weather at Christmas time that we had no hot water for like 4 days, like through like Christmas Eve and Christmas. And like people were losing power and stuff. And it is 73 degrees like a week later. What in the world? The weather is so strange. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.